We're going to talk about how to find circumference given the diameter or radius. But before we do that, what is the relationship between the circumference of a circle and its diameter? We just talked about this in our last lesson. So this is a diameter. The way I memorize diameter is it is a line that passes through. If you turn it sideways, it looks like the letter D. D for diameter. That's how I memorize it. Because I always get confused between diameter and radius. So D is diameter. It's a line that passes through. We're going to talk about what a radius is in a short second. So what is the relationship? Circumference is the distance around a circle. So this line right here, how many diameters will go around a circumference? It'll be about 1, 2, 3. About three diameters will make a circumference. Or you do have a little part left over, so it's about 3.14. So pi, which is pi, if you get the circumference, which is about, if you measure the circumference and you divide it by the diameter, you will get about 3.14 or 3. So about 3 diameters will make a circumference. That's a relationship. So we have all these circles. So in this one, imagine, so we have this one, circle A. If I had paper clips, 1 paper clip, 2 paper clip, 3 paper clip, 4 paper clip, 5 paper clips, 6 paper clip, 7, 8, 9, 10. Imagine I had 10 paper clips. So for circle A, it takes 10 paper clips to go from one end to the other end. Again, it makes the letter D. So what is a radius? A radius is half of it. A radius is half of a diameter. So think, diameter is from end to end, passing through the center, makes a D. Radius is half of it. So half of 10 is 5. Or another way to think about it is, if you know the radius, which is 5, double it, it makes diameter, which is 10. So the question is, diameter changes its circumference. How many diameters will go around this circle? About 3. If you want to be all specific, it could be 3.14, but we're going to estimate it about 3. So how many paper clips will go around this? If about 3 chains or 3 diameter chains go around the circle, the distance will be around about 30 paper clips. Let's try another example. Let's try, C. 1, 2, 3. So it takes 3 paper clips is the radius length of paper clips. So the diameter, without looking at it, I think it's going to be 6. Let's see. If this takes 3 from end to the center, 3 more, it is 6. Remember, diameter is from end to end. I memorize it as diameter is the double of a radius. So, how many diameter chains will go around this? About 1, 2, 3. It's actually 3.14, but we're going to estimate about 3 of them. 3 diameter chains. So, how many paper clips will wrap around this, the perimeter around it? It's going to be about 18, because this thing, if there are 6 paper clips here, 6 paper clips here, 6 paper clips here, 18. So the circumference of the circle is 18 paper clips, and the diameter is 6 paper clips. The radius is 3 paper clips. So let's do some example. If the diameter is 6, then the radius is 3. So let's look at it. So again, this is the radius. This is the diameter. If the radius is 6, the diameter will be 12. So how many diameter chains go around? I think 1, 2, 3. So if the diameter is 6, 6 groups of 3 will be 18. If the diameter is 12, 3 groups of it will be 36. Ooh, this will get a little harder. So we do not know what the diameter is. If it is 6 right here, and we know a diameter is a third of it, so it'll be 2. So it'll be, the diameter here will be 2. So 2, 2, 2 is 6. And so that means the radius, if the diameter is 2, the radius has to be 1. So again, the diameter is double the radius, and the circumference is about triple the diameter. Or another way to think about it is the radius is half of a diameter, and the diameter is a third of the circumference. So describe the relationship between a circle's radius and diameter. A radius is half of the diameter length, and describe the relationship between, or you could say a diameter is double the radius length. Describe the relationship between a circle's diameter and a circumference is triple the diameter. Or you could say a diameter is about 1/3 of the circumference. So, define circumference. You will be always given two formulas on your formula chart. C equals pi d and C equals 2 pi r, which is our next slide. What do all these variables or letters that represent a number or symbol represent? What do you think C stands for? Well, C stands for circumference. What do you think the symbol pi stands for? Pi. It could be either 3.14, which is an exact, or it could be an approximation about 3. And D stands for diameter. To find blank, or the distance around a circle, to find the circumference, C equal, you multiply blank and blank. You multiply pi and diameter. So when you are given the diameter, you will use this formula, C equals pi d. And to find the circumference, you multiply pi and diameter. What about this one? C equals 2 pi r. Define this variable C. C stands for circumference. Pi stands for pi, 3.414 for an exact number, or just 3 for approximation. Define the variable r. R stands for radius, which is half of a diameter. To find circumference, or the distance around a circle, you multiply 3 things, 3 quantities. The number 2, the number pi, and you multiply radius, whatever the length of the radius is. Let's make it a little harder. So the two formulas, C equal pi d is C equal 2 pi r. Why does this one not have a 2 while C equals 2 pi r has a 2? Let's think about it. Because if you use both of them, you will get the exact same answer. But why is there a 2 here, not here? I know why. Let's go back to our picture. 2 radius makes a diameter because a diameter is double a radius. So I think that's the reason why they had to put a 2 there. So C equal a diameter is 2 radius. That is the reason why. So you have 2 radius equal a diameter. Because I know when people do these, some people, I personally like working with C equal pi d. I think it's much easier. So I always double the radius, then I multiply it by pi, and I get my answer. So let's practice out. Find the circumference of each circle, the distance around the circle. So which formula? So this is an example of diameter. This is an example of a radius. If I was going to use the diameter formula, I would use C equals pi d. If I had radius, I would be using C equal 2 pi r. So let's find an approximation. So pi. Pi is what number? Pi is, if it's approximate, we'll use 3. The diameter length is 12. So that's 36 yards. Let's do an exact one. Pi exact is 3.14. The diameter length is 12. If I multiply 3.14 by 12, I get 826, placeholder 413, 8673, It's in the hundreds place, so 37 and 68 hundredths yards. So this is approximation. This is exact answer. So find the circumference of the circle. So since this is a radius, I will use 2 pi r. 2 pi is, if it is a approximate, I use 3, and a radius is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36 yards. That's weird. That's the exact same answer as our previous one. I wonder why. Because 2 radius makes a diameter. What's 2 radius? What's 2 groups of 6? 12. I did this on purpose so you can see that even though it looks like it's 2 different problems, it's really one and the same. That this diameter is double the radius, or the radius is half of its diameter. So if I multiply 2 times 3.14 times the radius, what's 2 of the radius? 12. 3.14 times 12 is 37 and 68 hundredths. So what we learned basically today is to find circumference, you multiply, you could use either formula. If it is focused on diameter, if it's given a diameter, I would use C equals pi d. That's multiply pi times the diameter. So pi depends on the question. Pi could be either an approximate answer using 3, or the exact answer using 3 and 14 hundredths. Or next formula, if you were given a radius, I would use 2 pi r. So you multiply 2 times pi times radius. Let's look at our next slide. So here's a circle. Let's practice. If the radius is 5, if this radius is 5, or you say this radius is 5, what would the diameter be from end to end? Well, if it's half of it is 5, then the other part is 5. Remember, 2 radius make a diameter, double the radius. So the diameter would be 10. In this one, if the radius is 10 from here to here, what would the diameter? Remember, diameter makes the letter D go from end to end, so it would be 20 units. And last but not least, in this last activity, what you wanted to do here is, if this is the radius, if the radius is something and you want to find the diameter, what would you get here? So the radius is a number and you want to find the diameter. So let's see, 0 and 4. Radius is 4, diameter is 8. And so on. I'm not going to go through this, but you can go there. So what you have to do is, the radius is half of the diameter.